All right, fentanyl, drug plague spreading across Mid-South. So things are really getting bad in the mid-southern part of the country now with the fentanyl. Let's go ahead and listen to this video. Where's the sound?
Now the fentanyl
All right,
epidemic is...
let me start it all over.
It's a drug 50 times more powerful than heroin, and it is killing people every day in this country.
Now the fentanyl epidemic is hitting home here in the Mid-South. We first told you about the fentanyl abuse in Crittenden County, and tonight we're digging deeper into those numbers. Fox 13's Zach Crenshaw is live in West Memphis right now. Zach, police there told you they're encountering this deadly drug more often than they anticipated.
Yeah, and it hasn't always been that way, Daryl. Last year, fentanyl was hardly mentioned here at the West Memphis Police Department. This year, though, they're making arrests and seizures of the drug and, unfortunately, dealing with multiple overdose deaths. Inside West Memphis PD, the narcotics unit is always busy. But this year, fentanyl has detectives on cases they didn't see last year.
So we definitely have noticed that fentanyl seems to be on the rise for seizures and for overdose issues.
In 2016, West Memphis had 0 fentanyl overdose deaths. So far, there have already been 4 this year.
When you compare it with last year, that's a 400% increase in fentanyl-related deaths for us.
The challenge with powdered fentanyl is it's almost impossible to distinguish from regular heroin. West Memphis police say in the overdoses this year, they've seen pure fentanyl and heroin-laced fentanyl. And they don't think the victims knew about either.
They have no idea how it was mixed, no idea how much is in what they're getting, no idea if the drug dealer, because fentanyl is cheaper, is selling them pure fentanyl.
As a state, Arkansas has seen a huge influx in fentanyl since 2010, and Tennessee is no different. The TBI told me that in 2013, they found fentanyl in lab tests just 12 times. By 2015, that number ballooned to 100, and it doubled last year to 201. Captain Joe Baker said his department is working to go after dealers and cut off the supply, but he also has a message for users.
That a lot of this heroin is being cut with fentanyl, which, if nothing else but for self-preservation, this is a substance that in a very, very small dose can kill you.
Now, less than 2 weeks ago, we told you about how the Shelby County Sheriff's Office was actually training its deputies on how to handle fentanyl if they come into contact with it. That's because if an officer or anyone really gets a small amount of fentanyl, less than a penny, on their skin, it can actually lead to an overdose and a death. It's happened across the country where officers have actually had to go to the hospital when they've come into contact with it. Captain Joe Baker, you heard from in that story, told me that.
Okay, he's right. There is another story that just came out of a cop that overdosed on fentanyl, I think just a few days ago. So he's right. It is happening all across the country. But there's still no end in sight in this plague. The fentanyl, I kind of mix in with the opioid and the heroin only because a lot of it is cut into those drugs to give a more powerful high. And we already know fentanyl is, more powerful. Now fentanyl plague is hitting home in Mid-South. So they're saying just last year, there were hardly no one in Memphis ODing on fentanyl. And just between last year and this year, it has actually jumped up 400% as far as fentanyl-related deaths in the Mid-South. The problem with powdered fentanyl is it is almost impossible to distinguish from regular heroin. West Memphis police said that in the overdoses this year, they have seen pure fentanyl and heroin lace fentanyl, and they do not think the victims knew about either. They have no idea how it was mixed, no idea how much is in what they are getting, no idea if the drug dealer, because fentanyl is cheaper, is selling the more pure fentanyl, which they are in many cases because it's supposed to be cheaper than heroin, I believe. As a state, Arkansas has seen a huge influx in fentanyl since 2010, and Tennessee is no different. The Tennessee Bureau of Investigation told Fox 13 that in 2013, they found fentanyl in lab tests just 12 times. By 2015, that number ballooned to 100. Last year, it doubled to 201. All right. And, the cops always say the same thing. Oh, these drugs will kill you, but it's not going to stop the people from going out there and running after the fentanyl and getting their high. So it really doesn't matter. And it's a shame, but these cops are now putting themselves in harm's way by getting the fentanyl on them. More cops are overdosing across the country, ladies and gentlemen, on the synthetic opioids and all of the fentanyl and carfentanil, and they are coming very close to dying, and it's going to be just a matter of time before many of them will die. I wouldn't want to do this job for no amount of money on this earth. I don't want no contact with drug addicts, period, to be honest with you. To go out there and have a hands-on kind of job with them, I wouldn't want it. Please leave your comments and subscribe. And if you can donate to my channel, please do. Peace, family.